I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Monday, March the 16th, 2015. With very little time left before the Israeli elections, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu made his final campaign rounds today. The Prime Minister visited Har Homa, a Jewish neighborhood in East Jerusalem, where he promised to keep Jerusalem's unity in, quote, all of its parts. Yesterday, Netanyahu addressed tens of thousands of supporters gathered at Rabin Square in Tel Aviv, where he told the crowd, quote, if we don't close the gap, referring to that between Likud and the Zionist party led by Isaac Herzog, quote, there is a danger that a left-wing government will come into power. Herzog, meanwhile, went to Jerusalem's Western Wall and told potential voters today that he needed their voice to make a change and to unite the country. Israelis are set to head to the polls tomorrow, Tuesday, March the 17th, and we'll have live Election Day coverage here on JBS beginning at 3 p.m. Eastern. Video footage and more information was released today of the terror attack that took place in Jerusalem on Purim that injured 4 border police officers and an Israeli civilian. According to police spokesman Mickey Rosenfeld, 22-year-old Mohammed Salema admitted during questioning that he bought an axe the morning of the attack on March the 6th before intentionally ramming his vehicle into officers stationed in front of the border police headquarters, and then also hitting a civilian riding a bicycle. Rosenfeld said Salema said he hoped to kill as many security personnel as possible. Salema was shot and wounded by other border police officers when he exited his car and tried to attack pedestrians with the axe. This morning, a judge extended Salema's remand pending a formal indictment. The Jews of Thessaloniki who were sent to their deaths in Auschwitz 72 years ago were remembered yesterday. Residents of the Greek city joined together at Thessaloniki's Freedom Square to remember the nearly 50,000 local Jews who were transported from there to Nazi death camps during the Holocaust. The approximate 2,000 people gathered then marched to the city's old railway station from which the first trains left for Auschwitz-Birkenau on March the 15th of 1943. They placed flowers on the tracks and inside old cattle wagons in tribute and remembrance. A month after her bat mitzvah celebration was tragically cut short, Hannah Bentow and her family got a chance to celebrate her coming of age in Jerusalem. Bentow was in the midst of her bat mitzvah party in the early hours of February the 15th inside the Crystal Gate Synagogue in Copenhagen when volunteer Jewish security guard Dan Uzan, who was standing guard outside the synagogue, was murdered by Islamic extremist Omar Abdel el-Hussein. Ynet reports that a month later, thanks to a generous donor, Bentow and her family were brought to Israel to mark her bat mitzvah there and also travel and see the country. One of their stops included the Kotel, or Western Wall, where Hannah's father recited Kaddish, the Jewish mourner's prayer, for Uzan. Israel's foreign ministry and embassy in Washington have launched a video contest for college students here in the U.S., asking them to express why they love Israel. Israeli supermodel Bar Rafaeli was named the official judge of the competition, whose winner will get a free trip to Israel and meet with the country's president, Reuven Rivlin. The top 3 finalists will win a trip to Washington, D.C., where they will meet with Israel's ambassador to the U.S., Ron Dermer, and be invited to Israel's Independence Day party in the U.S. Capitol. The deadline for submissions is March the 27th. And turning now to our JBS programming for tonight, March the 16th. At 7 o'clock, Israeli journalists discuss the upcoming Israeli elections tomorrow with Ynet's Yitzhak Ben-Hurin, Newsweek's Benny Avni, and JBS's own Ron Jacobson. That's from a Stand With Us event moderated by Shachar Azani and hosted by the Jewish Federation of Northern New Jersey's JCRC. Then at 8, Professor of Jewish Social Policy at Hebrew Union College Jewish Institute of Religion in New York, Dr. Stephen Cohen, analyzes the patterns of in-marriage and intermarriage in the Jewish community today. That's from Limud 2015 in Stamford, Connecticut. At 9 tonight, attorney and author Sandor Frankel joins Mark Galaban L'Chaim. At 10, Israeli journalist and author Yossi Klein Halevi talks about Israel's commitment to peace from the AIPAC 2015 breakout sessions. And coming up right after the news tonight, political science professor at Bar-Ilan University, Dr. Jonathan Reinhold, talks about the various Israeli parties and the political possibilities in tomorrow's elections. And tomorrow, Tuesday, March the 17th, join JBS at 3 p.m. Eastern as we begin our live Election Day coverage with an election preview followed by a live feed from the Shalom Hartman Institute in Jerusalem, where Janelle Hartman and Yossi Klein Halevi will be monitoring election returns as they are first reported and will speak with Israeli experts on the scene. And then at 4:30 tomorrow, which will be after the polls have closed in Israel, JBS resumes its own live coverage with reaction from Jewish leaders in Israel and here in the United States. And that's the JBS News Update for Monday, March the 16th. I'm Teisha Bader. Due to the expanded news coverage of tomorrow's election, JBS's News Update will be back on Wednesday, March the 18th. See you then.